Welcome back to another episode of the Coughing Podcast, where Obadiah talks and then coughs a lot.
Starring one Obadiah. Woo! Yay!
Now with less coughing.
But still there.
But if you think there's no coughing, you've tuned into the wrong podcast.
Well, I'm glad you at least feel a little bit better. But I know when it's just by way of what we do. When you get a cold, when you talk as much as we do each morning, you can't get over the cough.
It takes forever.
People are like, why are you still sick? And you're like, you don't understand. You can't stop talking. Mm-hmm. So therefore, you're going to cough.
Yeah. Well, this podcast features some of that coughing, which I think we can all be very excited about. Also in the podcast today, we talk about college football rankings.
We do.
Because, every idiot on the radio has to give their opinion on the football rankings today.
And that's including us.
And these idiots give their opinion on the football rankings.
We also do a RIOT food fight. We give you our opinion on some winter cereal, hot Cocoa Puffs, and the cinnamon vanilla Lucky Charms.
We've also got some stuff on a new burrito that Taco Bell is testing. I went to see Jim Gaffigan this weekend. There's details on that. What not to put in your eye. British chicken shows. I mean,
it's gold.
I just don't understand what you wouldn't want to hear.
You don't have to say any more because what you just talked about was purely enough.
Everybody's in.
It was wonderful. Now, I will go back and remind you for our RIOT food fight. That is also posted if you want to watch it. Make sure you like and follow us on our Radio U RIOT Facebook page, and it's also posted on our Radio U RIOT YouTube channel as well. We've got other food fights and interviews all located there.
Okay. Anything else?
Have a great day coughing.
All right. I'm really looking forward to it. It's the RIOT.
My favorite part of the worst of the RIOT, when they shut up and the music starts. It's the worst of the RIOT on Radio U.
Now, of course, everyone is talking about the Bowl Championship playoff series.
Oh, did people talk about that yesterday and last night?
Did they? All day Saturday.
Yes, that seems to be what it was.
And the college football playoff. And I said Bowl Championships. I actually said BCS. I'm sorry. It's the college football playoff. That's what they're talking about. And so, of course, Nikki, it's big news that Ohio State did not make it into the college football playoff.
Yes, I saw that.
They were ranked now number 5, and instead, Alabama has been chosen.
Now, I seem to have people were unhappy with the fact that Alabama did not have as much ranked competition.
Well, it's an interesting conversation that people are having. And, Nikki, it's emotionally charged.
Yes, of course. And rightfully so. I mean, your team's your team.
I will say this. I feel like I know a lot of people are angry that Ohio State didn't make it in. I feel like if Ohio State had gone in, I feel like Clemson would I feel like it would be a bad thing, like rough for us.
Game-wise?
Yes. The other side of that is
emotions-wise.
Both. The other side of it is that I do think that Ohio State did get the short end of the stick because I think Alabama is too well regarded. I don't think that the SEC. I'm not saying the SEC is bad. I'm just saying that I feel like there is this lingering belief that the SEC is in fact, God's network, like God's conference where all the good things happen.
Now, sometimes that's true, where they're way better, but I feel like maybe not in this season.
I will say this season,
it's not true.
I feel like saying the SEC is better than the Big Ten is...
That's not of an easy argument as previous seasons.
I mean, like, you look at the rankings and the teams, and, the big thing was always like, well, a loss in the SEC is nothing compared to a loss in the Big Ten. And the other side of that is that if you look at Ohio State's schedule, and you're talking to a diehard Ohio State fan, they had, not only did they play a couple of pushover teams, but they lost to Iowa. That is a dark, ugly mark. That's what that is. That is an ugly...
that we shall not speak of.
That's a mark that's as dark as those Iowa Hawkeye uniforms were. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang. Well, all that to be said, Ohio State, though, they're number 5. They're going to go to the... which bowl is it? I can't remember, but they're playing USC.
Yeah, so that should be a good game.
That's going to be a great game.
That'll be a great game.
December 29th. I always like to see Ohio State beat USC. So, I mean, I got time for that.
You can watch that.
No problem. And this also solves the problem of I don't need to watch the college football championship anymore. Because, like, normally it happens on a weeknight.
You have to stay up late.
You have to stay up late. It's a Monday night, so you're exhausted.
Yep.
That completely solves that problem for me because I don't have to see Ohio State play in that game. So, I mean, on a personal note,
it's actually a much better landing for Ohio State than if it would have been the other way.
I got December 29th off. I got the whole day to prepare for that game, to be cooking and getting ready. So I realize a lot of people aren't coming at it from that angle. And I understand that.
Well, now they know that this is better for you.
I did watch. Did you watch the Wisconsin game?
I did, yeah. I watched some of it.
Yeah. The first half, incredible. Second half was not as incredible.
Consistency is just maybe
it's a problem.
That's not what's been a key phrase for,
it's a problem.
For a lot of teams, not just the Ohio State Buckeyes, but a lot of teams this season.
I feel like if Ohio State's second half had looked like Ohio State's first half, they would have been ranked number 4, and they would be playing in the Rose Bowl. That's what I think. But you know what? There is no shortage of armchair quarterbacking and committeeing happening this morning.
On all week.
The Riot has a problem with authority.
It's a little rule. Maybe you're not familiar with it. Nobody tells me what to do, ever.
So I was in Cleveland all weekend, and I came home yesterday and was checking my email. And had an email from Netflix, and I was like, whatever. And then I turned on my TV, and I got a notice from Netflix just to let me know, hey, Obadiah, we really want to keep prices down. Unfortunately, HBO and other places, and blah, 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 and $13.99.
So what? You finally got your price increase?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a notice on mine.
Well, maybe it's just taking me this long to get around to it. Or maybe I'm in the first wave. I don't know.
Maybe you're one of the lucky first ones.
Yep. I was just amazed at how prolific it was. It was like everything I picked up yesterday was like, Netflix. Hey, just letting you know, buddy, we love you there. Let's give you a little hug. And we're going to need you to start giving us even more money than you do right now.
Which follows nicely because I saw a lot of articles over the weekend and they were all like, Netflix is throwing out the big guns this December of like releases and what they're going to start showing. And maybe they're doing that to try to buffer for when you get your price increase.
Well, I got really mad. And then it was like, Travelers Season 2, December 26th. And I was like, yes!
You're like, okay, it's fine.
Yes!
All right, but just this.
I'm going to watch that low-budget, crappy sci-fi show that I love.
Please stop increasing after this.
Yeah, we could.
I saw them trying to really promote. Is it the Bright movie, Will Smith? I thought that. I forgot how good that looks, and that's coming.
Can I say it a different way? How good it's supposed to be.
No, how it looks. It looks great.
Netflix
it doesn't mean it is going to be.
This has to be good.
Yeah,
we spent $100 million on this.
They're banking a lot on that, and that could be the price increase.
So there's that, and then I don't know. I saw multiple series that I was interested in. It was all stuff that I hadn't looked at yet, and I thought, well, crap. Randall just texted. He said $10 a month, but you know what?
You do the 4K.
I got the 4K 4 TVs going at once thing because
he has to watch people. Like some people have like all the 4 games on.
Yeah.
You just have 4 shows.
I got a TV, a tablet, a phone. It's all going at once.
Did you watch Punisher yet?
I've only watched one episode of it.
And
maybe this doesn't sound like me. Okay, I watched Die Hard yesterday. This doesn't sound like me.
The Christmas one?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's holiday.
But I watched The Punisher, and I was just like, man, this is kind of dark and brutal. Because, with Die Hard, he's like, now I have a machine gun, ho, ho, ho. And with The Punisher, he's like, now I have a machine gun, hang on, I need to cry because my family's dead. And so it's like...
It's intense, and you're not ready for that. You've been sick.
I have been.
You don't want to add that when you're medicated.
I actually, while I was sick, I thought I was like, today would be a perfect day to binge The Punisher, but it was more like, today would be a perfect day to The Punisher. And I just decided, you know what?
Wait till you're better, or
I don't think today's a good day for that. I'm going to have to, schedule some therapy in between episodes so I can make sure that I'm ready to finish it. I feel like that The Punisher came and went.
Yeah, I hardly saw any talk about it.
Even my friends that are like my comic book friends online, some of them I didn't see tweet about it at all. Now, it could have been me missing the tweets, but I just looked at it like, So I haven't dug into The Punisher yet. But there is a couple things on Netflix, and that's on the list that I would like to watch. So, yep. Go ahead. You know what? You want me to open up a vein for you, Netflix, so you can have some of that too?
Like, it's fine, but it's starting to become a noticeable problem. Like, we're hearing about this a lot.
I'm almost up to HBO level Netflix. That ain't good.
Imagine a world where the Riot never talks and it's glorious Radio U music for hours on end. Now, imagine the opposite of that. You're already there. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Okay, Nikki, I went to see Jim Gaffigan on Friday night.
Yeah.
It was not exactly what I expected, starting with the location. In my mind, I had imagined it being in a theater-style setting. I knew it would be a big one, but this was in an arena. So we got to this arena in Cleveland, Ohio, and, got in, got our seats. People were already really drunk, and the guy in front of me was like, if they sell beer in here?
You're like, easy there, bud.
I don't know. He's like, how come you don't know? Like, I'm so glad we got behind you in line. This is great.
It's wonderful.
That really happened. So got in there, got our seats, and we definitely had that thing where this is a mostly sold out show. Just huge sections of empty seats in this arena.
Really?
And it's like StubHub or whoever.
Sure. Oh,
they bought up all the seats.
Yeah.
And my friend who got me the tickets for my birthday was like, oh, yeah, I bought these from Ticketmaster, but Ticketmaster said they were almost completely sold out. But if you went to these other places, you could get tickets at 3 or 4 times their face value. Crazy. So the arena looked like it was weird that the show started and it looked half empty when it actually got started. But lights go down, and it was weird because, like, down there, you've got a square stage, all right? Like, we're up in one of the upper decks, but we still had really good seats. We're almost it felt like being in the mezzanine or something. And so there's a 4-sided stage down there and, large screens around it like you would get at a concert. But the thing that was really weird to me is it felt like getting together with a bunch of people to watch TV.
Because you're watching the screens mostly?
Yeah. I mean, you could see the guy down there, and I could tell that it was Jim Gaffigan, but really you're watching the TV. And it was just like,
You could have watched it on Netflix.
I got this at home. Like, what is the deal with this, right? The other thing that was funny to me was they had an opening comedian whose name I can't remember. Hysterical. Mm-hmm. Really funny. No one laughed at him. Like,
Aww.
Very little laughter for this guy. The place is just quiet. They're like listening. And it was odd that he had great material, very funny. And I'm, the one guy laughing up in my section, but whatever. And then cut to Jim Gaffigan, and Jim Gaffigan waves, and the place is like, Wah! He has the funniest wave I have ever seen. Jim is a funny waver. And I just thought, did you guys pay attention to the last guy?
He was pretty good.
He was funny.
Aww.
That guy was funny. And then Jim Gaffigan, seriously, was like, and there goes his pinky toe. That was the funniest pinky toe I've ever seen.
Well, I was curious how he would be because I felt we've liked his stuff for a while, but I felt like his last special was not good at all. So I didn't know if he would be doing that one or like a collection of stuff.
No, I didn't watch his last Netflix special. But this one, so most of the material he did was new to me. Mm-hmm. He did bits about going to an art museum that were funny. He did a lot of stuff about the hospital, about his wife's cancer and recovery and all that stuff. I thought it was hilarious, like very funny stuff. But again, I don't know how new the material actually was. The one thing I will say is this. I'm only used to, I've never gone and seen really a named comedian like that ever. And it was interesting to watch that, when you watch their specials, they are giving you 100% the entire time. But I felt like about halfway through his set, I don't know if he got bored or tired or what, but I felt like he started just
phoning it in.
He was doing his job. He was, and I say
it's
that.
It's funny when you see other people do that. You're like, oh, yeah, there it is. You could tell.
I say that carefully because I don't want to, it was still very good, and I don't want to take away from it, but I kind of wondered if other people, I was like, do you guys feel like it's subtle, but he's just getting done. Like, he's looking forward to being done working today. So he's trying. He didn't start that way.
Sure.
But he hit a point in the set where it was kind of like.
I bet you that's kind of similar to all comedians, though.
It makes
but we only see the edited End of special.
Exactly. It makes perfect sense, but I'd never seen it before. And so to see that happen, to see him slightly, I don't know whether he was getting tired or bored or whatever, but he just got to a point where I was like, I think, given the choice,
you're done now.
He'd like to be done right now.
Sure.
And it was subtle, but I felt like it was there. But, I mean, it was still
good.
It was still fun and funny. And I'll have to say, downtown Cleveland, Ohio, way cooler than I thought it would be.
That was Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah, I saw a lot of stuff down there, so it was a good time. And you know what? Jim Gaffigan was okay. I laughed a lot. I walked away thinking, this is funny. So seemed worth it to me.
That's the highest praise one could receive.
Well, you don't want to talk it up too much, but I really did like it.
Send your complaints regarding that worst of the riot moment to Fire Obadiah at RadioU.com.
Anybody going to the mall shopping? Because I'm not.
Actually, for Christmas shopping?
Man, that's a lie. I went to the mall on Saturday. They had a city center, downtown, whatever,
in Cleveland?
Mall in Cleveland, and I went there and I bought something. Everything's a lie. This whole thing is a lie.
Now, normally, you'd be truthful with saying, no, you're not one to really go shopping too much at the mall.
I totally did that, and I got a cookie. That's a great...
What are you doing?
I'm going to the mall shopping and eating cookies.
What's that?
That's what I do now. That's my thing. It's an all-new me.
And you're supposed to do that in the new year.
I'm not waiting
early.
Not waiting for 2018, Nikki. I'm turning the calendar over this weekend. It just happened. Just happened. No, most of my shopping has been on Amazon. Completely guilty of that. Came home, found packages stacked to the ceiling. And I'll be honest, and I apologize if you work for Amazon, because there's a distribution center near me. I don't think very much about you. To me, it's magic. I tell the Amazon, and then it just, it appears on my doorstep. I don't think a lot about all the hands and people that are necessary to make that possible.
Happen.
And you know what? I'm sorry. And I'm thinking about it today, because here's an article where a girl in the UK, she got her advent calendar, and there was a note inside it that was attached to her receipt, and the note is handwritten and says, "Help me, please. PMP staff are evil." Now, that's the company that in the UK staffs Amazon, basically. So she is saying, like, hey, these people are mistreating me. That's the kind of note she's getting.
And she put that in the calendar?
She put it on the receipt.
Oh.
So when she opened up the box, she's like, look what Dad got me. Oh, no, this woman's in trouble.
Now, you hope that's true. Well, no, no, I said that wrong. Because if not...
Nikki hopes it's real.
No, but you hope, like, the person's not joking. Because then if not, that really ruins what you just bought, like the entire feel-good emotions around it. But you obviously don't want the person to be in trouble, but...
Well, Nikki,
what's going on?
April, the girl who received the note, her mother said exactly what you just said. I hope it's a prank and that it's not really, that there are people... evil people running the distribution network for Amazon in the UK. And how do you define evil?
Are you talking like they're corporate evil? Because that's...
Or is it like...
That's everybody.
Cthulhu, ancient overlords evil.
Like something's been unleashed in the distribution center and you can't contain it because the box got opened.
We got this new machine that was supposed to speed things up, and it went so fast it told a whore...
Tore a hole? Is that what you're saying? Is that it?
That's what
in
I
the
meant
fabric
to say.
of time?
But instead, I apparently am charging a woman of the night, tolling a whore. Who even knew you could say that?
It's just a couple of letters that you just have to switch around, and then you've got tore a hole, is what you're saying. It's an easy mistake.
Of the universe.
Yeah.
Don't you see how even now it is trying to mask my ability to talk about it?
You're worried about it.
I think we're just going to stop there. I think we'll just...
You've done enough.
I think we'll just go ahead and wrap it.
The worst of the riot has no expiration date. It's born spoiled. It's the riot on Radio U.
So why are you guys talking about Taco Bell? We've got a good reason, guys. Taco Bell has decided that they are going to be bringing something that they say is a California tradition based in San Diego. They say that's where it all started. but they call it the Cali burrito. Taco Bell doesn't, but in San Diego, you would order a Cali burrito.
This would be similar sort of inside stuff.
And so Taco Bell is bringing the California loaded fries burrito. Ground beef, nacho cheese, sour cream. Looks like we got some red peppers in there.
You're like, what is that?
I can't.
Is it either a tomato or a pepper, Obi?
Oh, yeah, okay. I guess it could be a tomato, right?
Probably a tomato.
You think it's tomato?
I
Yeah,
think
because
so.
they don't do peppers like that. Okay, that, and then you can also order it with or without guac and some sour cream and French fries.
These are being tested in Charleston, West Virginia. You're like,
That's the only place they're testing it.
And you're like, why do you guys care? You don't understand. You put a fry.
Tell them, Nikki.
I feel like what could change the world and make things better, if you have a problem, you put a fry in it. Okay? Put a French fry in it. You've got a hamburger, put a French fry in it. You got a sandwich, put a fry in it. Now you got a burrito, you put a fry in it.
Put a fry in it.
And it makes it so much better.
It fixes everything.
And I appreciate that Taco Bell is doing that.
And you say to yourself, you know what? That can't fix every problem.
It can.
Oh, yeah?
You got a hole in the wall, put a fry in it.
You got a gun? Put a fry in it.
You got like me, I got a screw in my tire, I should put a fry in it.
Put a fry in it.
I could fix it totally.
Just mash it down in there. Done.
Fixes it, problem solved.
Problem solved. Put a fry in it. You know what? And
We've got war.
Just to be clear, well, that's why I said
Put a fry in it.
You put a fry in a gun, it's not going to fire right. And you take those open hands that are reaching for the guns and you put French fries in them.
Suddenly you're like, where's the ketchup and where's the burrito?
And everybody's just meeting in the middle like, this is delicious.
I like how fries tie all styles of food together.
They do. I mean, there are very few things that you can't fix by putting a fried potato in, on, or around it.
So that's why when we saw this, we're like, oh, it fixes it.
And if you think to yourself, you're like, nah, you know what? This is just Nikki doing something on the radio.
No, I love fries and things.
I will tell you, there was a time when Nikki was a vegan, and I recall very clearly the two of us sitting at Burger King because they must have had some sort of a veganish option.
No, that's vegetarian. They had the veggie burger.
Veggie burger, okay. And so we were sitting there, and Nikki was like, put some fries on your burger.
I wanted you to try it.
I want to watch you eat it.
No, it wasn't like that.
I want to watch you eat fries on a burger.
I wanted you to experience fries on a hamburger.
And I did, and it was good.
I'm sorry, what?
You know what? My whole world changed. And it was funny.
Like, thank you.
Up until that point, I'd really had some issues I was struggling with.
But it fixes everything.
Finances, whatever. Everything came together after that.
So I want for lunch today, like, no matter what you're having, pizza, orange chicken. Just
some fries on it.
Bring fries with you so that you can put fries on whatever you have.
I'm starting to get hungry. Like, as we're talking about it, I'm starting to get hungry.
They're like, ma'am, what did you bring? I just brought my own fries. Thank you. Just don't look.
Shh.
But it'll fix anything. You got a meeting today? Put a fry in it.
I want some fries, man. How do I get these French fries? I want in, dude. I want in.
So now Taco Bell is doing that for the upcoming burrito.
One of the only things left that isn't owned by Disney. The Riot on Radio U.
So this weekend, I feel like I may have crossed a line in my growth as a person. And it came down to, I came home on Sunday.
Yesterday.
And I had a new TV stand, I guess is what you would call it. It's taller. It looks different. It's nice. And it took me about an hour and a half, which is 3/4 of Die Hard, to put it together. And then...
Is that what you were watching it when you're putting it together?
That's right. And so as I was building it, I got it all done and got it put together. And then you just don't know how many wires you've really got behind that TV. There's a lot back there.
Sometimes it's disappointing, isn't it? We're just like, oh, man.
I actually told my roommates, I was like, well, this will take me a little while. And then it was like, no. You should have said forever. That would have been a better way to say it. But first you have to get all the wires out. Then you got to get all the stuff out that's in that drawer underneath where you're like, oh, just put it in there. It's in the drawer. So much stuff in there. So I pulled all of that out. Finally got the new TV stand in there and then spent, a couple of hours.
For what we call wire management.
Wire managing that stupid thing. Got it all in there and done. And now this is where the personal growth part happens. I have had a long-standing policy that TVs can't be too big for a room. It's impossible. When somebody says, like, I think it's too big for the room, I smack them. It's like, stop that kind of misinformation.
Stop that attitude.
You got to get to the choke point on that stuff. So when I got this new TV stand, it brought my TV up probably a foot.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more than that. And now it seems like that whole room is nothing but a TV.
So do you feel like it's crossed over into maybe?
No, I feel like
a bit big for the room.
I feel like it's one of those things where it's like you couldn't put a bigger TV here. And it's weird because the only thing that's changed is that it's now just taller.
Up a bit.
But now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in the front seat of the theater.
Probably because it's just in the direct line eyesight since it's up taller.
The thing that's weird too is, and this is how I like to play, I've got a couch, but I will actually, when I had the previous TV stand, I would sit on the floor in front of the couch and play Xbox because I was a little more eye level with the TV. Now the TV's way up. I'm sitting on the couch playing, and I'm just like, this TV is huge. It's so big. Oh, my gosh. And it's only, and I want to say this carefully, it's only a 55-inch TV.
Nowadays,
that doesn't even seem that big.
In the, the sale world or the good pricing of TVs, that's you can go bigger for cheap.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm still dreaming of a 75-inch 4K
nice.
For less than $400.
One Christmas, that'll be.
With the best technology and the cheapest discounts.
Free shipping.
In the snow.
One day, you keep thinking about that.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I'm, eventually looking for. But Nikki, do you see what I said? I said it's possible to get a TV that's too big for a room.
Maybe.
Do you see how much I changed and grew this weekend?
No, I still think because you've been sick. This all falls under that category. I can't believe a word you say until you feel better.
Can't trust me. Can't trust me. Okay, you're probably right.
You're hearing it for the first time, and it sounds terrible.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
It is the riot.
Your bell. I was like, what is that noise?
Nikki said that when the Salvation Army came that they probably wouldn't bring a bell.
Lieutenant Nate proved me wrong with that. So
Lieutenant Nate brought the bell, and you'll notice that I'm already feeling better.
You feel better that you have it?
I've touched the bell.
Well, for Radio U Columbus and Radio U Ohio, we each year do a week for Salvation Army where us DJs, we go and ring bells at various locations. So it's good. Ours is Wednesday, and now you can practice a little bit.
Yeah, now, before we talk to Lieutenant Nate, now a lot of people, you think you're going to ring like this, but you really have to start doing a shoulder ring.
The up and down?
Yeah, because after a while, you can't maintain this. All right? That's
your wrist.
That's a sprint bell. This is a marathon bell.
Now, you know why? And Lieutenant Nate, maybe you know more since with bell ringing, that's your forte with that. But I feel like it's because of our phones and
we're too weak for us to handle it.
We can't do the bell ringing that way. We have to do a shoulder movement like you mentioned.
Yeah. How do you ring, Nate?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I actually had a bell ringer last week who went to the hospital and he claimed that he had a torn rotator cuff from ringing the bell.
Whoa.
It turned out to just be tendinitis,
yeah?
but he was standing 4 consecutive days, 10-hour days.
Oh, that would be why.
Yeah. I don't try, I just do a nice little...
A gentle ringing? Yeah. Not Obi, we go overboard.
Well, actually, a lot of people pass by and they don't like the sound of the bell, too obnoxiously and loud. So what I do is I play Christmas carols on a brass instrument.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Come on.
But for those who don't, do that, the bell, I try to tell them, you're not trying to... be AC/DC here.
Sure.
You're just trying to ring nice.
It's a gentle ringing. Gentle ringing.
I love that, dude. So what instrument do you play?
I play all brass instruments, so like trumpet, euphonium, all that stuff.
I need to get my trumpet back out. No, I said this every year when we do this.
You say you'll always bring it when we go ring bells.
Oh, I did one time.
And that was it.
And I did very poorly because I hadn't played in quite a while.
And the money we received for the Salvation Army might not have been as great during that time.
It was hush money. They were like, we'll give you this money if you shut up.
If you stop playing.
Just please don't do this anymore. So, Nate, you said when you came in that you had a Taco Bell.
Which is why
story.
you talked about the bell earlier.
Yeah, so tell me about your Taco Bell story.
Oh yeah, we just took a group of our youth group teens to a Christmas concert yesterday, and we all stopped at Taco Bell.
Oh,
and,
big mistake.
No, that was a terrible mistake because when you have a van load full of teens and you're driving about an hour and a half and there's no way out. Actually, we did have one of our staff members with us was retching in the van. So, I mean, it was...
Nikki,
yeah.
Yes, it is.
This is a true story.
He got a cleanse. You can't put 15 people in a van on a cleanse, all right? Unless you're going to a stadium that can handle that kind of a cleanse.
Because not everybody's going to get sick, but you're just saying the chance is greater when everybody's together.
Nikki, you just heard the evidence. All right, Lieutenant Nate knows that you don't.
He's not lying.
You don't cleanse in groups. You
True.
cleanse in group 1 or 2 maybe, but no large group cleanses, okay? True. It's bad. So Nate, talk to us about Salvation Army this time of year. This bell ringing thing is big. Like, what's your day look like? How much you got to spend time doing that?
It's round the clock.
Yeah.
We have a huge group of bell ringers that are all throughout our cities, all throughout the nation. You know, it's iconic at this time at Christmas when people see those storefronts and they see those bell ringers. It brings back memories because this has been happening since the late 1800s.
Yeah,
and it's a round the clock effort. You have to schedule volunteer groups, and we're so thankful for all the volunteer groups that get in touch with us. But it's one of those domino effect things. You know, if something happens, if weather can affect it, or if just a myriad of things can just affect it. So
when food upsets your stomach and you can't come ring the bell,
yep,
is that it?
Yeah. So my phone basically rings off the charts during this season. But I tell my wife I have more friends during this time of the year than anything else because no one else calls me year round besides my wife and my mom. So I actually feel like important at this time of year.
It's a big time. It's a big time. Well, I didn't know this until we started working with Salvation Army, but I always thought bell ringers worked with Salvation Army, but that's just volunteers, like we're going to do this week. So the need is, yes, for people to help support and give, because Salvation Army raises money, and that goes to help people the entire year, not just during Christmas time. But volunteers are needed, too, if you ever thought, well, I could maybe do a couple hours here or there. I never knew that until we started. I always thought it was someone who was employed by the Salvation Army.
So when I give you $2, or that's all the cash I have.
That's it. He's a big spender.
This is literally all my cash. So, but when I drop that money in the bucket, what kind of stuff does that money go towards? Where does it go?
Sure. Yeah. It is year round. A lot of people think that it's just at Christmas time that we're assisting families and individuals and children. But no, it's all the money that is raised in the kettle supports our programs year round, helps us feed the hungry, house the homeless, educate children all year. We send kids to summer camp. We have food pantries, utilities and rental assistance, different arts programs all throughout the year. And all that money goes directly to that. It's a huge support year round, not just at Christmas time.
Cool. But this is just your primary fundraiser you guys do at Christmas.
Yeah, we kind of capitalize on the season of giving, and because it is such an iconic thing, people recognize it. It is our main fundraiser throughout the year, but it doesn't just support our programs at this time.
Yeah, cool. So I would just like to say that if you see somebody ringing the bell, don't be afraid.
We always remind you guys every year.
Don't be afraid to make eye contact and say hi,
and
even if you're not putting any money in.
That's right. We see people run by, sprint by, won't look at you. It's not about that. If you can help, anything helps.
Yeah. So Nate, anything else about Salvation Army that we should be knowing about that I'm not smart enough to ask that question and say blank?
Well, what we've noticed this year, we've seen a lot of kind of uptick in our donations at some of our sites because people have noticed the work the Salvation Army has done with the recent hurricanes down south. I've had so many people come up to me just saying, "Hey, thank you so much. The Salvation Army was in Houston," or "Thank you so much. My family was in Florida, and the Salvation Army provided when the hurricane came through." So people are seeing that we're out and about, and our goal is to really just heart to God, hand to man, meet needs, whatever needs that may be, physical, spiritual, emotional, and people are taking notice, and we're just thankful for the opportunity that we have to serve.
Cool. Well, Lieutenant Nate, Salvation Army,
Yay.
thank you so much for coming in, man.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So if you
start practicing with your bell ringing, Obi. Let's get warmed up.
And I like, this is what I like.
A gentle motion.
Yeah, just like this. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Look at me when I talk to you.
Now, Nate, you don't have to worry. He doesn't do that approach all the time.
I mean,
I'm there to help him out to keep it calm.
Just sometimes.
With virtual reality, the possibilities are endless. It gives us the ability to live out any of our wildest dreams. So maybe we can use it to pretend the riot doesn't exist. The Riot on Radio U.
Let me tell you about me. A lot of times, not every day, but often, especially this time of year, I deal with depression. It's a thing. But a lot of times I'll wake up and there's just a general sense that follows me throughout the day that I translate it as not good enough. Like whatever I'm doing, it's not good enough. Like today's show, not good enough. Today's wardrobe choices, not good enough. Today's reading choice, that I read fiction instead of nonfiction, not good enough.
You're always guessing everything.
It's like everything that I do, I just think like not good enough. This is not good enough. I always end up evaluating my choices and saying there was a better choice. Like, you could have gotten, instead of French fries, you could have had a salad. Not good enough. Whatever. And sometimes I could have a day where like I'm batting 1,000 and I'll just be like, you know what? I'll make up something. Just think something. Whatever the heck it is, like I'm going to come up with some reason, whatever. I don't know if you're like me. That's where I find myself a lot of times. Can I tell you something? Do you know that God is tired of you and me constantly looking at ourselves going, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough? Have you ever loved somebody, really loved them? Now, a lot of times when I think about this, I think about my grandma. To me, she's a person that, I don't think I ever evaluated my grandma on any level ever. All I ever thought was, I love my grandma. I just loved her. That was it. I never thought, Grandma, I'd love you, but you should really lose a couple of pounds. Or like, Grandma, I love you, but sausage sandwiches again? Whatever. I never thought like you're not good enough. I just loved her. That was it, right? Well, I want you to know that that's how God looks at you. God loves you. Now, see, God sees you, all of you. He knows that there are places in your life where you really have come up short, where you really have made mistakes, where you really have intentionally done the wrong thing. But he's saying, hey, you know what? I'm taking care of all that. I love you. I'm covering all of that. I'm forgiving all of that. And you know what? He wants to love you like I love my grandma. He doesn't want to spend all day saying, hey, Grandma, could you get a bigger TV for the Price is Right? Whatever those things are. Like, that's not what he wants to spend the day on. And I'll go a little bit farther. Jesus doesn't want you to spend your day finding all the things that you think are wrong with you. If God loves you and accepts you and forgives you, then who the heck are you to say that God is wrong and to make a list? Like, who are we to do that? Who am I to do that to myself? So look, today, here's what we got to do. We got to stop keeping score. And we got to stop keeping score against ourselves. We've got to accept the love and forgiveness that Jesus has for us. And then we have to go ahead and let ourselves have that. And you know what? I feel like when I'm willing to do that for myself, it's easier for me to do that for other people. Though I will say sometimes I have to forgive myself the way I'm willing to forgive other people, however it works for you. But I just want you to know, today you don't have to pile on. You don't have to pile on yourself. You don't have to make a list. If you don't have a relationship with God and this love sounds good, but you've never had it, invite God in and say, you know what, Jesus, I need that. I need you to cover up all the places I haven't been good enough, all the places I've fallen short. I want you to help me to experience your love. Help me to love myself the way you love me. And I'm telling you, God's love for you is a precious gift, and it helps, and it changes things.
Want to know what the Riot is doing right now? Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at riot.radiou.com. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Now, a lot of people, like if you see somebody offering a service, you just assume that it's safe because, if they're offering that service, obviously everything is totally fine. So it's not a big deal for me to go up to this hotel room and get the Botox because I'm sure they're using very safe materials.
No, that doesn't work.
It doesn't. But here is yet another...
But it happens.
Yes.
It happens a lot.
Here is a little bit of an update on someone. Remember the girl who got her eye tattooed?
Yes, yeah. I saw this over the weekend.
You did. Her condition, well, okay, for those of you that don't know, she went ahead and got her eye tattooed.
It was an ex-boyfriend who tattooed it.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she felt kind of pressured into it being done.
Okay.
That's what she's saying.
I can't speak to that.
Sure.
But I do know that at some point she decided, sure, I'll get the whites of my eye the white of my eye tattooed purple. Mm-hmm.
And I think he did it.
Did
I
he?
think he was the one.
Oh, man.
If not, maybe they both got it together. I'm not sure. But
do we have to start adding that question to our dating apps? Like, will you pressure me into procedures that are unnecessary?
Into an eye tattoo?
And of course they're going to say no, even if the answer is yes. But she at first was like, hey, it's okay. Then no, it's not okay. She's weeping purple tears.
If you see the pictures, like her eye gets infected all the time to the point where they believe her eye will go blind anyways.
Right.
But when I saw the article, like, it was so sad. I think she said she just is considering having them take it out.
She said she's in so much pain that having the eye removed is an option, and she's considering
Imagine saying yes to that option. Like, things are that bad.
How bad it must hurt for you to say, you know what, forget it.
But when you would see it swollen.
Yeah, the photos of her eye swollen are scary.
Like my eye, I get allergies and my right eye like waters.
Yeah.
That's the worst I've ever had.
There are days when Nikki's like a Bond villain over there. She's got this watering eye constantly happening.
I'll rub my eye.
She's dabbing it.
It gets red, but seeing these pictures and seeing what she's gone through, it's like I shall not complain anymore.
Nothing.
Because mine is no big deal.
Nothing compared to what this girl is going through right now. And so that's kind of where we're at.
This is the time-old tradition of just reminding you before you make a choice. You know, just see where it lies on the scale. Like, to me, a tattoo, I usually have no problem with that. But an eye tattoo, apparently, I do.
Well, you know what? It's that thing where it's like, I really want an eye tattoo. It's like, okay, pause.
Hold on.
Do you mean like around your eye?
Even that's not usually done.
Maybe you want a tattoo on, what do you say, like
your
an eyebrow?
Yeah.
Or what if you want to do a Mike Tyson thing where you got like an Egyptian thing on the side? Okay. All right. You want to tattoo your makeup on? Okay. Eyeball?
That's maybe just the pause because after seeing what's happened, I don't even want the risk. I know it's not with everybody, but I don't want the risk of that.
Everything I see, like if you're putting something in your eye, it's probably a bad idea because that's the other thing is like, you know how they get those contacts that are like, put a smiley face on your eye. Mm-hmm. Every year somebody gets a bad infection and almost dies or loses their eye from those things because they're not manufactured to safe standards. So I guess the moral of this story is...
be the grumpy old morning show.
No, we're not. I'm just saying...
Just your eyeball.
Don't put anything in your eye. I mean, even your finger is questionable because they'll tell you don't know where your hand's been.
Yes, you just...
No, really, you don't know.
That your eyeball is the safe zone, okay? Just let it be. The contacts, you're right, is enough of a risk.
Contacts, like my eyes sometimes will even get infected with those. Like, you remember that time I woke up and I didn't come into work that day because my eye was all infected and it was excruciating?
That's right. You couldn't even open it.
I couldn't. I had
Remember
it closed.
The lady who had like 20 contacts stuck in her eye and she didn't know it?
And they were all back up behind your eye?
Yes!
You remember how gross that was?
Like, just don't touch your eye.
Remember how, you guys don't know this, but Nick slept in his contacts for almost a year, and now he can't wear contacts because he scratched his cornea so bad?
I forgot about that. Like, these are very important things to remember when someone, even someone you think you love at that moment.
Man, I can hear an optometrist out there being like
yes!
you know contacts are a safe alternative when usage guidelines are followed.
Yeah, but we don't follow rules. Most of us don't. And you're like, sure, I can keep wearing it a few more days. And then a year passes. And you're like forgetting that you've not changed them out. That's all we can do, safety reminders.
I feel like we learned something, but I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to think more about it.
It's good call.
Worst of the riot, not enough? Not enough. Check the blog and all things Riot at riot.radiou.com.
Now, Nikki, did you watch the National Championship Poultry Show over the weekend?
No, I missed it.
45th annual.
What is that? Is that like a turkey chicken thing?
Well, like instead of being hosted by the guy from Seinfeld, it's hosted by the Colonel.
It's like a dog show, but with fowl.
It's a foul dog show. It's not quite as fancy as that, maybe. I feel they've really dressed up the dog show, And I just have to say, I was with the West Coast family in Oregon for Thanksgiving, and they all just sat around watching the dog show.
People do that on Thanksgiving.
I know that, and that's fine, but I'll have to tell you, and you know what? I feel it. I'm always into stuff, and people are like, this is dumb, but I have to be polite, so please tell me more about Battlestar Galactica. Tell me more about Call of Duty. I really want to know about it.
Aww.
So I'm just sitting there, and they're like, these dogs are really magnificent animals. I'm like, yes, they are.
I watched the recap on it on Twitter.
I need to go to the bathroom.
But I would sometimes watch.
Yeah, I can't get into it.
But what's this thing?
This is the chicken show, Nikki. Instead of people pouring all their lives and energy and all that stuff into a dog, they pour it into a chicken.
But I thought, for the cow shows and the chicken stuff at, fairs, if you win, like Ohio State fairs, every time I say fairs, it sounds like affairs. It's not. It's
for all your affairs.
Ohio State fair, or different fairs around the country. I always feel like if you win, then that means you die. You're the...
Oh, they eat you.
Yeah, they eat you.
I don't think that's what the chicken show's like in this particular case.
Well, all chickens die.
But do all chickens really live?
Maybe.
This seems more like these are weird looking chickens, all kinds of colors, plumage, things of that nature.
They're fluffy. Some of them are really fluffy.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think these are chickens that you eat.
Where's this at? Or is it hosted? Or
again, it's not exactly the same as what we see with the dog show, but it's the Poultry Club of Great Britain, and it's held at the International Centre in Telford, Shropshire.
None of those words mean anything. I love British. Sorry, I don't know any of that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of that.
Shropshire. You know Shropshire?
Yeah.
Well, Nikki, I sent you a link if you want to see the pictures of the chickens.
At the event?
The poultry show? Mm-hmm.
The poultry Wow, he's fluffy.
I told you.
How funny.
I told you. I don't think that we eat the chickens that look really sick.
No, yeah, that are why is the body of the chicken so big?
Yeah. These are chickens that are actually taken care of. Yeah.
How funny. Those are amazing.
I hate to be so specious, but I don't know if I could love a chicken.
It'd be hard.
I feel like I could maintain a working relationship with a chicken, but I don't know if I could love a chicken.
There's this YouTube video, I think, where this little boy was friends. It's a duck, but they're close enough. And it will wait to come pick it up from the bus.
Yeah.
And ever since I watched that, I was just like, well, maybe
I could be friends with a duck.
Maybe I could. Why? Who am I to just limit it at a dog and a cat? Why do we do that?
I'll tell you why. Because they're mammals. I'm telling you, we got a connection with mammals that I feel like we don't have with birds. But who am I to judge people that keep birds?
Well, one day, maybe when Obie and I start our pageant judging, when we've done radio for so long, that's a natural progression.
That's what they start bringing us in for?
We could always maybe move into the dog show or to the poultry show.
What about the pony show?
We can judge all those animals.
The dog and pony show.
And then you're like, oh, that's a lovely chicken. He looks delicious. He looks wonderful.
Yeah. In the meantime, Nikki and I are judging breakfast cereals.
That'll be next for a Riot Food Fight.
That's coming up.
We're qualified to go ahead and do that now.
Oh, I feel like our pageantry is going to be on full display here. That's what I feel like.
Nikki and Obadiah. Obadiah and Nikki.
Love, hate, hate, love.
All right, everyone in, let's go!
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
And I'll have the number 8. That's a party platter. It serves 12 people. I know what I'm about, son.
The riot. Food fight.
All right, right, Nikki. Sometimes in this job, we have to take on certain challenges.
We gotta do what we gotta do.
We gotta do what we gotta do, and I'll tell you what we're doing today. Oh, I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
We are taste testing. These are winter cereals, and they've been out, I think, through November and maybe a bit of October, but we totally missed out on the winter cereal season. We didn't even remember these things.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I don't know. It is.
All right. Well, it is. So, Nikki, what have you got over there?
I have the cinnamon vanilla Lucky Charms, which I feel like we should taste test first.
You want to do that first?
Because the other ones, the hot cocoa Cocoa Puffs, will overpower anything else. So
no, you're probably. You know what? I feel like there's a lot of wisdom in that.
I feel
like you're somebody that's taste tested Lucky Charms and various cereals
I
before.
just know chocolate's going to be the stronger flavor. So these are frosted cinnamon oat cereal. Obi likes to call Lucky Charms like the other part like kitty litter. It looks like it with marshmallows, and it has a little snowman marshmallow.
It's a snowman marshmallow that I feel like it translates.
Yes.
That looks like a snowman marshmallow.
So let's give it a try. We're doing this dry. We don't have milk.
The kitty litter is shinier than normal.
I'm going to try a kitty litter first.
Also, you're not going to go.
That's pretty good. That's good. Let's add a couple more.
Still has kitty litter flavor, but it is slightly improved.
It's going to be the texture.
I don't think it's just the texture.
You don't think so?
There's a real bland
the marshmallows
flavor to
are
it.
so good in Lucky Charms, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Okay. It's going to be a lot of munching this morning. That's good. I think it's fine. Yeah. The cinnamon, it's not like it's truly like really cinnamon vanilla-y, but it's good. What do you think of it? The snowman marshmallow is cute.
Yes, I like to bite his head off.
Why don't you just drink it? Drink your whole cup of cereal.
Okay. Now, look, there's the little snowman.
Yeah.
There's, what is this, the snowflake. What is this white ball supposed to be?
It's a snowball.
It looks like aspirin.
No, it's a snowball.
It's like
it is.
Like Jordan's like, look, you guys are going to have a headache when you eat this. So we've just gone ahead and rolled in little aspirins.
Your medicine? No.
You can eat it.
It's a snowman. It's a snowflake. And then I think it's just like a snowball.
Okay.
Or just a general thing of like winter merriment. No?
No.
Maybe?
Just the phrase.
Winter
a
merriment?
thing of winter merriment.
So that's the Lucky Charms. What do you think?
It's all
Still
right.
too kitty litter for you?
I'll tell you this right now.
Stop it, Obi. One day, Obi will get better.
Here's what I think. I can't get it out.
Come on.
Okay.
You can do it.
Here's what I think.
Yes.
I would still prefer a chocolate Lucky Charms
that you love.
to this. Now, if you get... Yes, that's what I prefer. Now, let's take a look at this bad boy right here.
This is the hot Cocoa Puffs. I think it's just normal Cocoa Puffs with marshmallows. I read a couple of reviews, and people realized afterwards with the combo that they feel like Cocoa Puffs really do taste a bit like hot chocolate.
Well, I mean... Hot chocolate's supposed to taste like chocolate.
So more like a mix, a hot chocolate mix.
Oh, I got a very sad showing on the marshmallow side here.
I do too. I think that might be in the box. The Lucky Charms had a really good amount of marshmallows. I have two in a whole thing of it.
So there's not enough marshmallows here, Cocoa Puffs. Well, okay, we should go in for the chocolate alone first. Let's just
too late. I already put everything in.
Oh, Jim?
Yeah. Ooh, the marshmallow's good on that. I think so.
Okay.
The marshmallow's good. But they need more.
I got to tell you, first off, they always need more. Second, if you just eat the Cocoa Puff itself.
Yeah. You hear us digging? I'm trying to find a marshmallow.
That has got a weird aftertaste, guys.
You're not supposed to think about that.
I'm not?
No,
it does. Why does it have... That is not a good aftertaste. The milk is supposed to hide that.
It is. It does.
And you know what? That ain't good. All right.
I like the marshmallows in that. That's good.
Okay, so let me see if I can sum this up for us. Yeah, everything about the marshmallows we love
in both cereals
and the filler stuff,
give or take,
not so much.
The hot Cocoa Puffs, I like its filler better than the Lucky Charms. But
I don't know if I do or not. But I'll tell you, the problem with these Cocoa Puffs is, man, you got stingy with the marshmallows. You did, General Mills. Let me tell you what. We're going to have to bring in the president because the general is making some mistakes.
Because someone's mad because that's too little of the good stuff.
Who outranks the general? I don't know, but he needs to get to somebody.
Well, that's your Riot food fight. Again, the hot cocoa Cocoa Puffs and the cinnamon vanilla Lucky Charms with some coughing in between.
Hey, listen, did you feel like they were trying to shut my message down? Because every time I went to talk about it, I was like, ha, 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 ha.
Your body tends to do that.
It's like they had a cough gun that they were just hitting. Maybe I should try some more of these. Huh?
That'll help you the rest of the day.
No, still kitty litter.
The Lucky Charms one?
I'm telling you, what you guys, if you want the best of all worlds, you got to get chocolate Lucky Charms. That's where they finally figured it out.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the Radio U network through the Radio U app or at riot.radiou.com.
Apparently, I'm charging a woman of the night, tolling a whore.